In this example, in the first column, which is C1, we have hours studied, and in column C2, we have test score. So this is the data for 10 students which we surveyed, and we asked them how many hours they studied for the exam and what was their test score. So we want to establish the relationship between the number of hours studied and the test score. So here, if you see, the predictor will be number of hours studied and the response variable will be the test score. So as usual, the first thing what we will do is we will plot a scatter diagram or the scatter plot for this. So for that, I will go to graph, scatter plot. In scatter plot, let's draw this simple scatter plot, press OK, and in Y variable, which is the response variable, we will put the test score. So I will double click on that, and in the X variable, I will put the hours studied. And I will not make any changes to these options, and I press OK, and here is my scatter plot. So let me enlarge this. So this is my scatter plot. So by looking at the scatter plot, I can guess that there is some relationship between number of hours studied and the test score. So I can draw a line somewhere here which will show the relationship between hours and the test score. This was the first step. Now in regression, the second step will be to find out the Pearson correlation coefficient, and for that we will do the regression analysis. There are two main ways to do regression. I will show those, and then we will go back to the slides, and there we will interpret these results. So the first way, which is the easiest and the most common way, will be to click on assist, and in assist you press on regression. In regression, you have been given number of choices. The first one is one X variable, and that's what we have. We just have one X variable. And if you have more than one X variable between 2 to 5, then you can go and use these two options. But we are not using that. We will use this option when we go to multiple regression. But for now, let's click on simple regression. In simple regression, let's fill in what's the Y value. Y value is test score, so I double click on that, and X value is number of hours studied. Data are recorded in the time order. No, there is no time sequence here, so we will not click on that. Next one is whether the relationship is linear or the quadratic relationship. What we are studying right now is simple linear regression. So let's click on linear. Let's assume that the relationship is linear between these two variables, and we have an alpha value of 0.05. We will talk about alpha value as we go further into this course. This is all you need. So this approach, what I am showing you, is simple and straightforward approach. And with this, if I press OK, these are the results I get. What are these results? We will talk about that once we go to our slides, and we will talk about each of these things what are shown here. What does this mean when P is less than 0.01? What does this mean when it says that R square is equal to 77, R is equal to 0.88, and this is the scatter plot with the regression line, and this is the equation for the line Y is equal to 15.79 plus 0.9760x. We will understand each of these, and then at the bottom we have the line, straight line between hours studied and the test score, and we have some numbers here as well. And here we see the residual versus the fitted value. We will talk about these as well. And in the last here, we see the prediction plot, which gives some sort of a boundaries around these points, some interval around these points. What are these? We will talk about each of these as we go step by step. This was one way to do regression. The second way to do regression analysis is to click on stat, and in stat click on regression, and once again click on regression here, and then fit regression model. And here the response is the test score, so let's double click on that, and the continuous predictor is our studied. We don't have any categorical predictor. We will talk about that later on, and for now let's forget about all these options, and we press OK, and this is the second approach. Here we see the test score equation or the regression equation, which we saw in the first approach as well. But then here we see few other things, which are coefficients, the p-value, the t-value, the VIF, and the model summary. Model summary we have seen earlier as well, where we saw the R square value, but here we have few other extra values here. So in this approach, what you get is some additional information. These are more technical in nature. What you saw previously, these were more in the form of pictures. So these are two approaches. So what are the results of these two approaches? We will understand those step by step as we go further. So with this, we complete this video where we have seen how to use Minitab to do regression analysis. Now in next few videos, we will be understanding the results of this analysis.